Welcome to Starting Line, a program that takes a look at select bills introduced during the 90th legislative session. Starting last July, Minnesotans were able to purchase off-sale alcohol on a Sunday for the first time in nearly 160 years. One of the lawmakers that voted yes on the so-called Sunday sales law did so with an eye on dedicating revenue to treatment programs. Representative Rick Hansen, a DFLer from South St. Paul, sponsors House File 1091 that would require the Revenue Department to annually estimate the amount of tax revenue from off-sale Sunday alcohol sales and appropriate that amount to chemical dependency treatment programs. I asked Representative Hansen why he sponsors this bill.
Well, I've introduced a form of it over several years as an amendment on the floor to try to recover some of the potential increased tax revenue that would be coming from the authorization of Sunday liquor sales. I had opposed Sunday sales as long as I've been here at the Capitol. And over the last few years, as the momentum was building, the argument was made is that there would be increased tax revenue that would help the general budget for the state of Minnesota. We didn't have much documentation of how much that would be, but the claim was made there would be increased excise tax revenue that would be coming in. So I thought rather than have that just go to the general revenue, that would be better used for recovery programs. And as a legislator, I've heard all kinds of testimony each year about the challenges of folks who are in recovery. And as you get older, more of your friends and family and acquaintances, and when you're door knocking, you find people that have had difficulty with substances. And with recovery programs, they're perpetually underfunded, and a little bit of effort there can make a long-term difference in somebody's life. So I thought it would be an appropriate way to try to capture some additional dollars into proven programs.
It looks as if the bill has some bipartisan support. Representative Jennifer Loon sponsored the so-called Sunday sales law in 2017, and she signed on as one of the 14 co-sponsors. Did you reach out to Representative Loon at the beginning?
Yes, I've found sometimes when you try doing things alone, it doesn't work very well here, and that cooperation and collaboration can make a difference. And so over the years, I've moved that amendment on the floor and had some support. This year, I thought it looked like, I'm using this year, this session, it looked like Sunday sales would be happening, and so I made a repeated effort with Representative Loon, who I'd talked with before on this. She co-authored. If you watched the debate that happened last spring, I introduced the amendment and I withdrew it, and she made a promise on the floor to help work to get this into law. And so it's made it through committees. It's still alive. It wasn't connected to the Sunday sales bill that passed, but it's still out there, and I'm hopeful that we could get it passed this year.
And how important is it to you to fund chemical dependency treatment programs?
Well, I think it's one of those programs, an opportunity where you directly affect people's lives. If you can get folks into recovery and keep people in recovery, it changes their life. And when it changes their life, it changes the community. And again, I can tell you when I knock on doors, there are people who are aware of what I've done. They're supportive. I've had people who thank me when I'm door knocking for this. And when folks are dealing with the challenge of addiction for whatever substance, it tears families apart and it can have community consequences, which lead to consequences throughout the state. So a little bit of effort, if we can be helping one person or a few people, it makes a huge difference. Things we do here make a difference in people's lives.
And what about the message to those who might be against it? What do you say to try to convince them?
Wherever you are in your life, you're going to find people who you may not know are struggling with a problem, and that a little bit of effort that you may not think can make a difference, can make a difference. And so we're not talking in the whole state budget a huge amount, but we're talking a little bit more dollars that can make a big difference in individuals' lives.
The House Health and Human Services Reform Committee approved the bill last year, and as we start the 2018 session, it awaits action by the Health Finance Committee. Do you expect any movement on this proposed legislation this year?
I'm hopeful. Sometimes there have to be 2 or 3 paths that are laid out for folks. It may be a health bill, maybe it's a tax bill, maybe it's maybe we have a big omnibus bill at the end. But I'll keep working on it, and I would encourage folks to contact their legislators if they think it's a good idea, or even if they think it's a bad idea. Let's have that conversation and that debate, and hopefully make a decision on this.
Approved last session by the House Health and Human Services Reform Committee, the bill awaits potential action by the House Health and Human Services Finance Committee. For more information on House File 1091 or any of the bills that are introduced in the legislature, you can visit the House website, www.house.mn. Thanks for watching The Starting Line.